Welcome to another episode of the Simpleton Review Podcast. I am your host, Nate, Simpleton number 1.
I'm Charlie, Simpleton number 2.
I'm Lemuel, Simpleton number 3.
And yes, he is. And don't you forget your place, all right? I was actually corrected this week, by the way, Lemuel, from your siblings. They let me know that you're not actually a millennial. They think you are a Generation Z. What say you about that?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I'm in this weird middle ground where I sort of on the end of the millennial generation and at the beginning of the Gen Z.
Yeah.
But, I don't really like either of them, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So what your generation you like more than any of the others?
Probably Gen X, because they got the cool rock music.
Yeah, well,
And The Shining and stuff like that.
Well, The Shining actually came out,
well before.
we were 2 or 3 years old when The Shining came out. So
so it works. It works.
Yes, it works. Generation Xers weren't watching it in the theater when it came out. If they were, the parents probably would have been arrested for child. I mean, actually,
I don't know.
So probably not. What do I? Cars with no seatbelts and stuff, didn't we?
It's true. Rode in the back of trucks for miles.
All right. Well, anyways, folks, this review is going to be on Phantogram's new album called Ceremony. If y'all don't know who Phantogram is, they are a kind of a techno rock band, wouldn't you say? You've been around. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, a bit of dream pop going on.
Yeah. So they've been around for I don't know. I think 6 or 7 years now. They've got 4 albums out. Their newest album just barely came out. It's called Ceremony, and there was 4 years between Ceremony and the album they released right before that, entitled, I can't remember the name of it.
I think it was Voices, wasn't it? Oh no, there was one after that.
Man, I can't. Here it is. Hold on. Yes, it was 3. 3 was the name of it.
3, that's right.
So,
I just remember that album art, the explosion and everything in the picture.
Yeah. Phantogram is a good band. If you guys like kind of techno-driven pop, it is definitely that for sure. They kind of remind me a lot of Portishead, maybe a little bit. Would you think?
Yeah, especially on kind of their lag songs.
Yeah. What do you mean by lag songs? I mean, so I think computers when I think lag songs, and lag's not a good thing.
So they have really interesting off-step kind of beats. Almost more like a rap instead of more of the techno sounds. The techno sounds usually are like a driving rhythm, whereas Portishead goes for an alternate kind of step.
Right. Yeah, and I would say that the people in Portishead is actually only 2 people, right? There's what are their names? It is, hold on, I got the Wikipedia page pulled up right in front of me.
It's probably a smart move.
Yeah.
So Sarah Barthel and Josh Becker, and they're pretty much the main part of the band. But they do on occasion have some people come in and play drums and stuff for them, and that kind of thing. But they're the gist of the band. So Josh plays the guitars for the most part, and then Sarah does all of the sampling and plays the keyboard and sings for the most part. So although I believe it's Josh who sings on one of the tracks on this album, I thought it was pretty good. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Was that Mr. Impossible?
Yeah. What did you guys think of this album?
I liked it. I thought it was a bit different than their other stuff because they're a bit more poppy on a lot of their other albums.
Oh, yeah.
But this one definitely had a bit more remarkable kind of tunes. I mean, it was very driving.
Remarkable kind of tunes. I'm going to do that. That way I can a little bit better, because it's weird because I'm trying to look at the camera and I'm trying to react and I can't react because all I can see is my ugly face.
Aw.
So,
That's got to be fun.
No. Not fun. Okay. So, yes, Lemuel, what do you think?
I liked it a lot. I have nothing to base it off of because I don't think I've heard any of their other music. So just in terms of just listening to them, I dug a lot of the music. I didn't really like the News Today one. It felt I think it was News Today because it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of progression at all. It just kind of stayed the same for the whole 2 minutes. But every other song was interesting and fun.
Yeah, I one of the things that this one I thought was a little bit better than the Beck album that we reviewed last month. More variety. the one thing, and maybe it's hard to do with techno music, I don't know, or techno-based music at least, but the one thing about albums in this kind of genre is that you have to try hard to not sound the same for every song. You know what I mean? And they do. There's some variety, but then there's a couple of songs that really they just kind of all sound the same. But I did really groove on the first couple of songs. I really liked Dear God, the first track.
That's a good one.
It goes right into that. Just driving second track is pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that second track on there. Did you guys have a favorite track at all?
Mr. Impossible I liked a lot, and then there's another one. I just have to remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I want to say Let Me Down.
Let Me Down. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like Let Me Down and Mr. Impossible. I think I liked, there's a really ambient one. I think it was either Glowing or Gaunt Kids. And I really liked that one. It was very serene for them.
Yeah, yeah. I liked it. I guess, we were talking about the fact that they do a lot of beats. And so there's definitely that variety in there. There's at least the first, Dear God, and specifically the second song, there were so many different sounds. Like it was almost an overload of sounds on there. So it was really kind of like, I like it. I like sometimes when it's just like, okay, I've got to listen to this 3 or 4 times to try to pick out all the different beats and sounds I had in there. But there was so many overlayers and overdubs on that song. I was like, whoa, okay.
See, and that's more reminiscent of their album Eyelid Movies or Nightlife, where they had this like just really odd sounds. Now they've kind of like kept from like sounds of like springs and stuff, but still have a good mix.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Did you like it overall? Lemuel, first of all, let me ask you this question. Since you didn't have a kind of an in or a reference to go by as far as this album was concerned, Phantogram, because you never heard of him before. What'd you think? You were just barely introduced to him by your old fart dad, old fart friend, I might add.
I enjoyed it a lot. I was honestly a little skeptical at first because just the name itself kind of threw me off. But
why was that the case?
It's going to be a death metal band.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be some weird, like, it was kind of a weird techno, but like, that was my first thought, is like, this is going to be some weird techno. I'm going to have to really focus in on it. But once I started playing it, I was like, okay, I can groove with this.
Yeah? But when did you listen to it, like when you were at work or something, or what happened there?
No, I have a hard time listening to music while I'm at work just because I'm like focused to, like, I'm not able to split that brain as much. So I listened to it a little bit while playing Xbox, but mostly while driving my wife around a little bit, and then at home when I was cleaning.
Wait, you drive your wife around? I thought she drove you around. When did this change?
Recently.
Oh.
Why? Because gas is cheaper and I like driving my car.
Oh, okay. All right, so now you're getting be a pretty good professional driver, eh?
Oh, yeah, I'm catching up to some people when it comes to driving.
So for those of you out there that may be wondering, my son, Mr. Simpleton number 3 over here, is almost 22 years old. And let's just say he barely got his driver's license just over a year ago. So he was 20 years old, almost 21, before he got his driver's license. In fact, he got his driver's license like 3 months before he got married. I'm just saying that is weird for us.
It is a little weird.
Saying, and look, I don't know if, I think Charlie may have had his driver's license when you were young, but I know you didn't drive a car because you were telling me that you always took the bus and all that kind of stuff. And even in college, you didn't have a car. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get my license till after college.
Okay, I was thinking that. To me, it's weird because, look, all my friends, we had a car by the time we were like 15 years old. We were driving around. We were like, see ya, we're out of here. I am going for a drive. And so he didn't get it till he was 20. And then Charlie, what, 21, 22? Well, how old were you?
Yeah, I was 21.
Weird. It's just weird. Part of it, too, I think, is because I'm from Idaho Falls. It's kind of a rural area. You're from Portland. They have mass transit systems there. Easier to get around than even here. Which is weird, right? Because a bigger city, you'd think it would be better to have a car. But when you're in a smaller town like this, they don't have mass transit systems. And so if you don't have a car, it's going to take you 45 minutes to an hour, maybe longer, to get across town, because they've got cabs and things, but they don't even have the old transit system that they used to have here in town. And my mom is suffering because of it. Anyway.
That sucks.
So Phantogram, we better get back to the out. That's what people are tuning in for, to listen to our review about Phantogram's album Ceremony. Wow, it was loud. Whose was that? Was that mine?
Shouldn't have been me.
That was probably mine. I forgot to mute my phone. What a terrible faux pas for the professional broadcaster here. Okay, so let's go ahead and give the rating for the Phantogram, and we'll sign off on this episode of the Simpleton Review. Lemmy, why don't you go ahead? What's your, out of a 5-star, what do you got?
Out of a 5-star, I'd rate it a solid 4, probably.
Okay, great. Charlie?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I liked it. It was a good 4.
Okay, great. You know what? I'm going to have to give a 4. So we got 4s all the way around. I wouldn't say it's the most perfect album in the world, but it's definitely up there. And I would say it's probably the best album of Phantogram's career by far. Would you agree?
I don't know if it's the best. It's good.
Oh, wow. Okay, now we got an argument.
I can't say it's the best because there are some that I really liked. So I really liked eyelid movies. So
all right.
Sorry.
No, fair enough. I mean, we'll have to agree to disagree, but that's why I'm Simpleton number 1. Because I get to say. All right. So, hey, I am Nate. I am Simpleton number 1.
I'm Charlie. I'm Simpleton number 2.
I'm Lem, Simpleton number 3.
Thank you, Lem, for actually talking this time around. We truly appreciate it.
Hey, I'm trying to get better at this.
This is you brought. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time when we review the movie Dr. Sleep. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.
Farewell.